Candy coated secrets, you see me. Manifest my dreams, they wanna be me. How I do answer questions when they see me. So blessed, they think I got a genie. Candy coated secrets, you see me. Manifest my dreams, they wanna be me. How I do answer questions when they see me. So blessed, they think I got a genie. 213, the star was born. Keep us in the light and she passed it on. Went from Officer White to Miss Candy Coated on a different vibration, so you know I'm floating. We're not the same, I'm not a game. You match NG, I shift chakra. Not least the keys, but I'm on fire. Be more bread, home of the wire. Candy coated secrets, you see me. Manifest my dreams, they wanna be me. How I do answer questions when they see me. So blessed, they think I got a genie. Candy coated secrets, you see me. Manifest my dreams, they wanna be me. How I do answer questions when they see me. So blessed, they think I got a genie. I am like dopamine, you can't control this substance. You don't want smoke me, you couldn't handle my substance. He gave me life and assured me abundance. I don't speak broke, sis, I am abundant. My ex, yeah, he's a clown, making fake pages to watch me now. Climbing to the top, they can't stop me now. Got so much sauce, trying to slurp me now. Got my foot on their next nine, letting up. They stomp the yard, time to step it up. Got my foot on their next nine, letting up. They stomp the yard, time to step it up. 2 shows, 3 magazines, been on the radio, I'm not stopping. Wrote a book, best-selling author, my God keeps me popping. I'm affiliate, a life coach, my stock keeps on rising. Wednesdays at 8 o'clock on Facebook, they're watching. You see me? Candy coated.
Hey, you guys, what's going on? How are you guys doing today? Let me make sure I got it. Wait, I need it. How you guys doing? It is Wednesday. Let me check this. Let me make sure something going good. Say hello to me when you get in here. What is new with you guys? June. It is June what? June 4th is here. June is here and it's not going anywhere. Okay. Let me see. So what's going on, my good people? Hey TikTok, we are here tonight on TikTok. Okay, cool. The sound, everything, the volume. The volume is voluming. Okay, the volume is voluming. I have not been here last week. I took a day off. The weather, the rain. Now it's sunshine and rainbows, and I'm super excited about that. Whew, it is the summertime, and it feels really, really good. I don't know what was up. Usually April has all the rain, but it seemed like this time it was May. It was May with all, you know, the scrutiny, if that's even a thing. Oh, and it also looks like now they are saying that Diddy trial is supposed to wrap up in a couple weeks. It's supposed to be done at the end of June. That's gonna be interesting to see what you guys thinking about that. What do you guys think about that? But I won't be before you guys tonight very long. I got all y'all in here. We got YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok. And as you guys know, like I told you guys, Facebook is changing their little video streams or whatever they doing. Who knows? Hey TikTok, how you guys got? Make sure you give me a heart thumbs up when you get here. You can share the show as well. Also, let me know what's going on with you. What's new with y'all? This week has really been a great week. I must really say that things have really been taking a shift, and I'm super excited about that. So I'm feeling it. We are about to have the cookout. Our annual cookout at the church is this weekend. I'm looking forward to that. You guys, everything is free. You guys can come. And I hate the fact that this is like rebuttaling in my ear. Hold on. Let me fix this because it's going to drive me crazy. It's going to drive me crazy. Okay, let me see. Can you guys still hear me the same? All right, I had to turn that down some. So it's Wednesday. This is the 4th day of June. It's just a new atmosphere, a new time. We have new energy that's here. What are you guys up to? I know that for me, I have just made some like 90-day goals, which has been really, really, really going really good. Okay. I said I'm gonna set these goals and make a plan and execute them. And that's been really, really fun. I do have some more reviews of different places that I'm going to that I have to post. And I have been doing I've been juicing. So, this is just the season of pouring love into me. Okay. How about you guys? Is anybody else out there doing that, or is it just me, or is it just me? It is important to pour into you because who else will love you better than you can love you? Okay, and if you can't even love yourself, how can you expect somebody else to love you? Okay, that's the bigger question. So I've been juicing. It's been really fun. I have found the cure to a lot of the things that I've had, from bloating and sugar cravings. I have just found the fix to that, so I love it. Um, the weight's been coming off like crazy. I've just been super excited about that. Just becoming better. You get one body, you got to treat it like you love it. So I was like, okay, so I went ahead and I started this plan. So this is a true story. So funny, right? You just never know where things may go. Hey, TikTok. You just never know where things may go and who may come across your path, right? And the role and stuff that they may play. So I had my friends where I've just been doing all of this. I'm constantly growing. I'm constantly on the journey of growth, becoming better, just continue to be great, right? And so I just discovered well, not just discovered, 'cause you know how sometimes people can tell you something and then it takes time for it to kick in before you decide to go ahead and act on it or you wanna listen, right? So, I was talking to one of my friends, and I discovered that I was spending maybe, like, I said it came up to $1,000, but I really believe it was more than that. So, I discovered that I had been spending $1,000 a month on food, on eating out every day, all day. So that's why for me, I find that lunch conversation, what you should do or how much you're supposed to give somebody for lunch. Say hi to me when you get here in the chat. Hey, YouTube, I see all you guys over there on YouTube. Say hello, put it in the chat. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and you do all of that, right? And I discovered that. So, this is something that, he was telling me a while ago, like, you know, you spend all this money on food you eat out. You eat out every day, all day. So I was like, "All right, all right, all right." So at the time, I wasn't doing it, so they was like, "Well, you know what? You seem to be like an extreme person that likes to eat out, and it might be a little difficult for you to break. So only eat out on maybe like the weekend or something like that." So I was like, "All right, cool." Needless to say, it finally clicked. After all this time, it took 2 years, and it finally clicked. It finally registered, and I was like, "Okay, I've changed that." I said, "I'm still gonna eat out now, but I don't do it as much." Well, it definitely does look like I may just do it more on the weekends, but not really, but it was cool. So when I sat down and I was like, "Dang," and when we all did the math, it was so funny because it was like 12,000 dollars was food. And so they was like, "If you take $12,000 out of your income, that is food." So, like and that is just your food for you eating out. And I was like, "Oh my goodness," and sometimes you gotta have things presented to you or you have to sit so that way that you're able to understand what's going on and things like that. So I said all that to say this person at one point in time was a complete stranger, and you just never know who, what, or when, God is gonna send somebody to add some value to your life that can help you throughout life, no matter what it may be. This is why I love older people because older people have a lot of wisdom. I'm not talking about an old fool, but I'm talking about the older people who have a lot of wisdom and they've gone through some things. So they definitely can help you if you just choose to listen, right? But sometimes you have to be in a space ready to receive it. And even though if you're not ready to receive it, usually when they're talking to you, it'll still come to you anyway. Like eventually one day it'll click. You'll be able to play back the conversation and stuff like that. So I've actually met him by dialing the wrong phone number. And it can you believe that? And it wasn't really necessarily the wrong phone number. It was like a number that was for a service that I was looking for. I think I was moving years ago and came across this man. And we have been cool ever since. And this man gives so many gems, so wise, and I appreciate that. So here it is years later, now I'm finally implementing what it is that he said, "Hello, say hi to me in the chat when you get here." I'm finally implementing what he said, and that is good. So I said all that to say this as well. Sometimes you have to really sit and realize that you might be the problem. Like, that's what I just had to do. Has that ever happened to you guys? Have any of you guys ever did that? Where you had to sit and be like, "You know what? I am the problem here. I truly am the problem here." And that's the one thing that I like about growing because you just never know where it's gonna go. Growing can be lonely, it can be fun, and, it's definitely uncomfortable at times, but I had to recognize, like, "No, what are you doing? Why are you spending all of this money on eating out every single day?" Because you guys know I dread cooking. It's not that I can't cook, I just don't like it. I don't like the process, the step by step and all that. I don't like it, but here I am, I'm doing it, okay? And I was like, "Okay," so as I'm still continuing to peel back the layers, I love the space that I'm in, today and where I've been over the last couple of months, even when I came here to you guys and told y'all about some of the things that I experienced while I was going through Lent, people trying me, I always say, um, God sometimes turn you into a chump. At least that's what I've been saying. Like, come on, people playing with me. It just that's really just it. Well, the hot TikTok, the fact that, you know, growing sometimes you don't wanna grow, but growing and change is just something that you cannot prevent, it's inevitable. It's like you have to do it, no matter if you wanna do it or not. I almost feel like if you stay stuck in the same place or, like, even if you're in a relationship or friendship, they be like, "Oh, you changed, you changed." But it's like, was I supposed to stay the same? Because I feel like if you stay the same and you're not changing, then you're dying. You know what I mean? You're not growing, you're not learning, you're not pouring into yourself, not adding no more value to you or anything like that. So we should always be changing. We should constantly change, for the better, right? So I've even been, doing all of that and just loving where I am. And when you look good, you feel good. When you feel good, you look good, and good things happen, and things just come around to you like that. A lot of times we'll sit around and we'll just wanna complain about what's not going right or what we don't have, but we're not really looking at ourselves and say, "Well, how am I contributing to the situation? Is there something I could do differently? Or what should I have done?" You know what I mean? Some people are just comfortable being complainers. Some people you just gonna have people that are just gonna constantly complain. But when you look back over, like, your life or the things that you want and the goals, are you really, putting a plan into place so that you can, become better and do better. You know what I mean? If you wanna move, if you wanna live on your own, are you putting a plan in place to say, "Hey, I'm gonna be able to move out on this date?" 'Cause I noticed that, like, when you write things down, it moves faster, and you'll be able to see it come to fruition, you know? So, most of the time, when you're with yourself You are with you everywhere you go a lot of the times, and we don't really always give ourselves 100%. You know, we give 100% to everything else. We may give 100% to our relationships, our friends, our kids, but especially if you're like a mom, you're always on the back burner. And if you listen to, uh I guess what Jada was saying, the reason that's why she was sleeping with Lil August or just different people that you whomever it is that you may listen to when they talk about being a parent and being a wife, they always talk about how, "Hey, I'm a mother first," we are a mother first, and we put ourselves on a back burner a lot of times, and then when you put yourself first, you feel bad that you put yourself first. You know what I mean? If that make any kind of sense to you. So, I'm like, I've been encountering a lot of people that said they wanted to do different things as far as, whether it may be with their jobs, whether it may be with themselves, whether it may be with, health or, spirituality or getting closer to God, whatever it may be. And sometimes it's like, okay, well, are we positioning ourselves or putting ourselves in a situation where we are able to be better? How many times in a week, it's 7 days in a week, how many days a week do you actually give yourself 100%? How many days a week do you stick to your boundaries? You let your no mean your no and your yes mean yes, you know? Do you sit and peel back the layers to yourself? So right now, where I am in a part where I have to go back over, just my list, and I do this every so often because I feel like you have to put people in a category where they may fall, right? You have to put people where they belong, where they fit your life. So, and if you wanna do it, you can do it, but this is what helps me, okay? And I'm about to go back over my list and write down everybody I know or that's I consider a friend, or whatever it is that's connected to me. And I have to you have to put people where they belong, right? And y'all follow me? And a lot of times the emotions that may come up in that is a little bit of your codependency. If you're a people pleaser, you might feel bad. You might, you want to second guess it. But this is just something that I do where there is no second guessing. There is no it's not a trick question. You just have to write down and really, really be honest. Because in order to be better, right, and become better, sometimes we have to clear out the baggage that we are still allowing ourselves to be attached to that can really be holding us back. It's so much power in letting go, but yeah, people don't explain how letting go is one of the most scariest, unknown, um, just, make you second guess everything when it comes to letting go, because that means that you are willing to release all control over something, whatever it may be, and you not know what it's gonna look like, how it's gonna go, if it's gonna work, if it's not gonna work, is it gonna come back? So, a lot of times, we spend most of our days worrying about things before they even happen, you know? Why am I worrying about this when it hasn't even happened yet? Or we spend a lot of time trying to figure out what other people are thinking, what they're feeling, and all that. And I know I've been guilty of that. I've been guilty of that. So, that's just areas and stuff that I recognize that I also have to work on and continue to work on. Man, we all have to. Um, thanks for liking the live that we all have to work on, right? So I'm back to doing my list, and I started doing it in the car, but I'm gonna write down everybody I know that's connected to me, and and the point of this exercise is to see how the relationship is beneficial. Now here it is. The last few times that I did this list the last few times that I did this list, child. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. The last few times that I did this list, my friend circle got small as all, but that was the first time, I will say that was my pivot into being better, you know? My circle had got small. So one of the things that happens comes time, 'cause there's time when you have to take control of it. It comes a time when you have to really sit with yourself and evaluate the people that are in your life, who adds to you, who drains you, who complains all day, who brings out nothing but the worst in you, who brings out the best in you, who pours life into you, who uplift you. You should be able to sit. If you can sit and be able to say and know who you can go to in your time and whether it's an emotional boost, a listening ear, some words of encouragement, being there physically, sometimes it may even be financially or whatever it is, you know. Or I say if you have difficulty trying to figure out if you try to do it and you have difficulty trying to figure out like, well, what is it that I wanna do? Even if you use yourself as the example, how many people that you have that are connected to you that have access in your life that show up for you the way you show up for people, you know? And I don't think that if we're really honest about this list, if you sit and you do a list, you would probably be extremely disappointed. You really would. You would probably be disappointed or see where you pour more of yourself into situations than people pour into you. And that is one of the things about growing that can be really, really scary sometimes. Like, and I was just listening to something and I gotta finish it when I get off of here, and it was just talking about when you're chosen, right? Especially when you're chosen by God, right? Hey, Kayshawn, how are you? Congratulations on the what, 2 or 3 times, um, best-selling author, right? I be online browsing through. I play peekaboo sometimes. Congratulations to you guys. Shout outs to Kayshawn. Renew You Body Butter, y'all. Our Renew You Body Butter queen, the owner, the creator herself. Um, it's definitely like when you're trying to find your purpose, or if you already know your purpose, it can be a crazy or scary, lonely road sometimes, only because you get so many mixed signals. Yes, thank you so much. You're welcome. You get so many mixed signals, and you're just trying to find your way around chaos. A lot of times, and you have to stay encouraged even in the midst of the storm, you know? So, I'm like, "Okay, well, let me go ahead and sit back and evaluate where everybody is in my life, who plays a part." It's not anything that you can do because something has happened, because nothing's happened, but it's like, "Okay, these are the steps that I like to take. I'm letting you guys in on the steps that I take to actually do it." Because one of my friends is always like, "Yo, you actually" a lot of people always talk about they wanna grow, and a lot of people be talking about they doing this, and, he's like, "But you really be doing it." And I'm like, "Yeah," and a lot of the times when I do it, I, um I become secluded, you know? I go into like a cocoon because I have to get spiritually grounded, have to get me back grounded, get my mind right, and get focused because the one thing that I've noticed is that when I am locked in, tuned in, and aligned with God, things just flow for me. There's hardly any confusion, but things flow even even if it seems to be a little shaky. So I'm just in this season of really starting to understand what trusting the process, more so like trusting him is about, because I just know that there is just so much more to life. There's so much more out there than just arguing back and forth, sadness, disappointment, bills, struggle, chaos, uncertainty, and so now I'm in a step 2 where, um, I want to apply scripture, right, on how to utilize it. and add it to your life. You know what I mean? Because it's like here we are. A lot of times we may read the Bible or whatever, go to it, we can get an understanding. How do I apply this? You know? So that's what I've been doing, and I like it, and I always know when I am in a spiritual shift. Do you guys ever know when you're in a spiritual shift? I always know when I'm in a spiritual shift because I do things differently. I won't operate out of autopilot, although I haven't operated out of autopilot in a long time, okay? Um, Years actually, but I just become quiet, not even with mainly my mouth, but just like my spirit. So here we are. I was so shocked because my phone died last night, right? Um, what you say? Yes, growth is hard because you have to let go a lot around you. Yeah, and thank you for you being honest with that because a lot of people that's what I was saying earlier, people don't wanna be honest about that because when you grow, sometimes it causes you to leave people that you've known for years. Sometimes when you grow, you learn that the person that you with is not the person you're supposed to even be with. But because it's familiar and the fear of the unknown will have you stay attached to something or somebody that you shouldn't even be attached to any longer. You know what I mean? Or putting up with things. So this is so funny. My book is almost done, and, this one part of the book that I have, it's about, this chapter today is about loving you, self-love, loving you, pouring into you, and things like that. And y'all, when I tell y'all, I was like, "Girl!" Like, "You wrote that?" Okay? Because it was just so powerful. I was sitting and I was like, "Dang, do I wanna read a snippet, on the show to you guys today or another day or just wait for the whole entire book to come out?" Because right now I'm just organizing it and getting I gave myself a deadline. And, um, self-love is so important because when you are growing and you attach to things and people sometimes that you shouldn't, continue to be attached to, you don't really realize how much you are not loving yourself, how much you're not treating yourself right. You know what I mean? Um, Sometimes we'll stay in situations because we don't wanna deal with being lonely. So your loneliness keeps you stuck and stagnant, you know? You could be purebred unhappy, but you'll be doing it. You'll say, "Hey, I I like or I want a commitment." And just because you don't know how it may go, you won't ask the person that you want a commitment from for a commitment. You know what I mean? Or you'll say, "I want marriage." You won't ask for the marriage, whether it's a deadline, a no line, or whatever. You'll say you don't want a person with children, and then you end up dealing with somebody with children. So it's just a whole thing of how, our choices and how we neglect ourselves, and we don't always love ourselves and put ourselves first. Well, I can't wait. I'm super excited. Yes, I'm in a spiritual shift right now. Oh my gosh, you're in a spiritual shift right now. Listen, how do you feel when you go through your spiritual shift? How do you feel when you go through yours? Tell me about it. I can't be the only one. Or do any of you guys even know when you are going through a spiritual shift? Like when things is being shaken and stirred, like Anthony Hamilton. 'Cause, oh my god. I wanna know if you're still here, in the spiritual shift right now. And let me tell you, when you want more for yourself and when you want more out of life, man, the battle with with yourself be so it be so interesting. You know what I mean? You probably get on your own nerves because 'cause you're like, "Am I supposed to do this? Is this something I wanna do? Uh, what's next?" You know what I mean? How do you know when you're going through it? You know what, that's a good question. I like to think that would, like, really be different, that varies from person to person. But I would like to say that you know that you're going through a shift when things which you're used to doing no longer feels good. When you feel it's like a tug. You know what I mean? You feel a tug, even no matter what you do, no matter where you go, or a choice that you're trying to make with whatever it is that you may be dealing with at that time, you feel a tug. Sometimes, you may feel like nothing is going right, or all hell may be breaking loose because God is just trying to get your attention. You know what I mean? The things that you worship he'll rip them away to get your attention, and we'll go back and we'll pick it back up. But it's uh, just a form of maybe even being all up in your head and being all over the place and battling with right and wrong, really, with decision making, not knowing what you wanna do, you know? It could come with, people being removed from your life, relationships coming to an end, getting a new job, a spiritual shift, it shows up in several different forms. And a lot of the times, I like to believe is when you're not comfortable, okay? Look at that. See how the enemy did? It wanted to do what it do. Why? Because okay, there we go. It's back. So when you're not comfortable, no matter what you do, you just cannot seem to get comfortable. Because when you're comfortable, you become a creature of habit. You'll be stuck and don't want to grow. I have learned to stop fighting it and let God have complete control. Oh my goodness. Kayshawn, that is listen, letting go is so difficult. But again, everything is as difficult as we make it, and I'm learning that as well. I noticed my shift when God started removing people and situations from my life. Oh, look, I just said that. Yeah, you know, and it is so believe it or not, like, it is so much power in letting go, and that's something I've realized, but I keep on realizing it. Is this something you keep realizing, Kayshawn? Like, as you keep on going, do you realize that more and more you get to see, how freeing it is to let go? It eases your anxiety, your mind be at peace, you feel like a weight lifting off of your shoulders, and it is so funny because I just recently went through that where this huge weight of something that had been really weighing me down, and I made the conscious decision yesterday, which everything that was leading up to this week, but yesterday it came so clear to let it go. And when I tell you, I was like, "Oh my goodness, let me let it go." Not like, "Oh, Imma let it go and that's gonna be it." No, I had to pray. I said, "Yes, the weight is a lot lighter." Yes, it is. I had to pray, y'all, and get down in the mud, and I don't know how y'all talk to God, but I talk to God like I talk to y'all, and, that's why sometimes when my pastor like or the different people in the church, like, they want me to pray, they call different people to pray at the pulpit. I'm like, "Nah, I don't talk to God how y'all talk to God, so I ain't even about to get up here and pray you." Pray with y'all maybe one day, but I don't talk to him how you talk to him, 'cause I talk to him in the way that he responds to me, and I just went through that, and had to be really real, and it was something that was so, like, challenging and difficult that I did not wanna let go. I had been holding on to these things for dear life. You hear me? Like, holding on to it so tight that I had to sit and say, "I don't like this. I don't like this. I can't do this, and I know that I can't do it by myself." And I can't be out here and knowing that, I trust God in certain areas, and then in other areas, I wasn't trusting Him or being willing or being an open, vessel in the present. And I just had to pour my entire heart out like I always do. Oh my gosh, Kayshawn, when you're talking about that weight, when I tell you within the matter of seconds after I came out of my meditation, even while meditating, I could feel the shift. I could feel the energy moving. I could feel all of it. Oh my God, it was so good. And I woke up this morning, I kid you not. I woke up this morning and I felt like a feather. So when you say the weight is a lot lighter, Sean, okay? I woke up on top of the world. When lately I be going to sleep with the world on top of me. And I was like, is this what I needed to do all along? You know? And I was like, "Oh my goodness." So also too, I recognize too that he's positioning me to have to depend on him for everything. And I am like, "Oh my goodness, I don't like this. I don't know how this is gonna go. What are we gonna do?" But I said, "You know what? I'm not going to go back and forth with it. I'm just going to go with it." And I was like, "You know what? I gotta come here tonight and talk about it because I know I'm probably, I can't be the only person in the world that's dealing with things or battling with things. Not even like anything is going on, but it's just this is the thing too where I always say, um, I'm not jealous of anybody. There is no competition. This is why I feel like anybody out there that has a business or you just want to be better for yourself, like there is no competition. You are your only competition. I battle all the time with myself. Every day, every second, every year, I am like, "How can I outdo me?" You know what I mean? Do anybody else ever feel like that? I'm constantly trying to figure out how to outdo me. You know what I mean? Like, "Girl, oh, this is what you did? You did this? What else can you do?" And then I like to look back as time go on and, check off, because a lot of times situations and circumstances, it builds your character, and you don't know how strong you are sometimes. You don't know what you're good at. You don't even know what you're capable of sometimes until you are placed in certain predicaments. And I think that we don't acknowledge our strengths a lot. You know what I mean? We don't acknowledge the areas that we are good in. We often do the self-sabotaging or the looking um, down upon ourselves. So I had wrote something earlier, and she said, "Our only competition should be with ourselves." Yes, that part. Let's give some hearts and thumbs up for that. Yes. The only competition should be with yourself. And even though people say that they get it, but I really feel like people who are really going through the steps to grow, you really understand that You know, God gives us everything that we need. We already have everything that we need. He tells us, we shouldn't compare, that the comparison is the thief of joy. How can you feel joyous and be happy if you compare? Now I know for me, it would be me comparing me to me. You know what I mean? Or feeling a way about different things, whether it came to my business, mainly mine was my business, not really necessarily myself. Myself had other things that I have to deal with and work on. And then I had to really just look at it like, "Oh, no. girl, take it easy on yourself. Rome wasn't built in a day, and you have taught yourself everything that you know to this. You've helped people start their businesses. You've poured into other people's businesses. You've done different things for them, whether it's a template, whether it's a plan, all of that. And I'm like, you know what, girl? Give you some grace. You know what I mean? So today, I'm giving you guys permission to give yourself some grace. You don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to know how it's going to go. Just do it and just go. You know what I mean? And that's all you should really like focus on. And so when it comes down to stuff like that, it's just like, all right, well, what can I do better today than yesterday? Like I'm always trying to figure out how to outdo the day before. It's like, come on. But now I'm just like, just go with it. You are already doing it. You're already doing it. And so for anybody out here that is doing anything with yourself or business, whatever, and if you're still doing it, you are already winning because you ain't quit. You are already winning because you ain't stopped. When you show up and you don't feel like it, and we know I've done that a million times over the years. I done came here and told y'all. And you're still doing it. Everybody has a different definition of success. Success look different to everybody else. Everybody don't know what your dream is. Everybody don't know what your careers are. Everybody don't know what you put down on your wish list. And just because somebody may feel like, "Oh, that's dumb, that's stupid," but it may be everything to you. You know what I mean? We live in a world today where everybody wants to they look alike, they talk alike, they act alike, they eat alike. Like, it's very hard to scroll online and find an individual. And yeah, some of y'all gonna probably kill me because these are my friends who people all the time, but this is why I love and I just, like, discovered her. I love Clarissa Shields. I know y'all probably don't like her, some people probably don't like her, but I love Clarissa because I'm not talking about, when they say, "Oh, Clarissa, they making her look like this, and she's not like this, and she's not." I don't care about that. Before anything, before all of that, I loved how she showed up and she kept online, and then I will watch people, like, talk bad and talk down on her for showing up who she is, but it takes a lot of courage to show up as yourself. 'Cause if you find something stylish, if you want your hair a certain way, it's gonna be somebody somewhere looking for something to say about it. There's gonna be somebody somewhere trying to say, "Why you got this on?" And it's like, "Why can't it be because I like it?" You know what I mean? And then now, especially if I feel like people who do like labels, you shouldn't allow anybody to make you feel a way now about labels, 'cause now China done told all the secrets. So if anything, don't let nobody make you feel like you're less than because you're not out here buying all this stuff when you be like, "Child, I can get that from China for $70. What are you talking about?" You know what I mean? It's all about your perspective, and it's about your perspective and your mindset and how you see things. And people don't like to show up as themselves in the world because every day we're being told who we should be. Even from time when you grow up, go to school, kids don't have feelings, go to college if you're a girl, get married, don't have sex to get married, don't have no children, do this, do that. Like, we are, like, structured and taught to be a certain way all our lives. And then when you grow up and you got stuff going on, you don't know who you are, what to do because you're trying to figure out who you are, or you're still holding on to the attachment of who your parents said you should be. And your parents got their own issues that they don't want to face and that they don't want to deal with. And now not only are you dealing with the issues from your parents, you're also dealing with the issues from yourself and your poor decision making and the things that you've done. And it becomes one big cycle, one big whirlwind, and then we go around looking for our other half to fill us, to make us full. All the while, you're not even in any capacity to even be with nobody. You know what I mean? I mean, just thinking about that alone just sounds like, goodness, that is deal with. So I had wrote this thing earlier because, just listening to different people saying, "Oh, the dating pool has piss in it, piss and fentanyl, piss and fentanyl." And I was like, "Hmm." And I'm like, "Does the dating pool have piss and fentanyl in it, or are you full of piss and fentanyl?" Because we are what we attract, right? And sometimes we're not even able to recognize that we're going around attracting broken pieces of ourselves. And if you feel like there is some piss out here and that's all that's out here, then perhaps you need to do some cleaning up within yourself, which is the first indicator that you need to do some work with yourself. And then the other thing is, are you swimming at the wrong end of the pool? You know, if you feel like everybody, all men and women ain't crap, probably because you ain't crap either. If you look deep enough and stop for a second, you'll find some issues within yourself that also helps solidify what it is that you're saying. So this right here is what I'm and it was just like, I was just so inspired and moved, right? It says, "For those who think the dating pool has piss in it." I don't know who needs to hear this, but if the dating pool feels that toxic, maybe it's time to check what's swimming inside of you. Keep saying everyone's broken, unavailable, or playing games, but have you asked yourself, "Am I emotionally available to me?" You know what I mean? Still Still drinking to cope, still silencing your thoughts with smoke, still calling sex fun, when deep down it's just a way to feel something for just a moment. Temporary pleasure will never heal long-term wounds. You might say you're detached, but truthfully, maybe you just disconnected from yourself. You've buried your dreams in other people, tied your worth to who chooses you, measured your identity by we instead of walking fully in who God created you to be. You keep pointing the finger at them, but sometimes the people you attract reflect the parts of you that still need love and healing too. Okay? Healing doesn't begin with blame. It begins with honesty, with grace, with the courage to sit with your own reflection and ask, do I really love myself? And that's what I was talking about in the beginning of the show. Not the version that survives through attachment, but the version that feels whole on my own, strong, soft, worthy enough. You can't find peace when love feels like pain. You can't guard your heart if you keep handing it to people who haven't guarded theirs. So before you write off love, before you give up on the idea of a real connection, take a deeper look within because when you begin to heal, you begin to attract better. Why? Because that's how the universe works. Energy flows where your focus goes. Miss Vibration. You know, so drops mic, boom. So that's like that was something that was just placed on my heart earlier, and I had to make sure you guys give me a heart and a thumbs up, share the show, and that's just what was on my heart earlier because I'm like I said, we go around and we do a lot of complaining, but we don't want to take a look inside. You know, when you get better within yourself, you will everything else around you has no choice but to get better with you. You know what I mean? But you have to put in the work. You have to do the work. If growing was easy, if changing was easy, everybody would do it. Everybody would do it. And you always know what you may deal with too sometimes when you meet people. So when I meet people and things like that, whether it's friends, business, or whatever, I always pay attention to say, wait a minute, I check in with myself. How many of y'all do that? How many of y'all actually sit and check in with yourself? I sit and I check in with me like, what's going on around you now that this person has come in? Because that allows me to know what I'm gonna be dealing with. It lets me know that it's gonna be some shiggity that comes with it because it still be some shiggity with me. You know what I mean? And so this is what real growth and processing things looks like. You have to sit with yourself. Hey, Andre, you say absolutely. How are you? You have to sit with yourself and really be like, what is going on? Like I was telling y'all when I was going through that self and then that whole thing transpired. And I was like, yo, I had to come home and sit like, what is going on? And that's how I was able to process and understand that that was a test. I knew that a couple months ago that that issue, that that was a test. Had I not been paying attention, had I not become aware, had have not, you know, um, gained more wisdom, I wouldn't have known. I probably would have been fighting. It would have just been a mess. You know what I mean? But because I had to take that moment to sit and pause, like, what is this? I was able to recognize I was able to recognize that it was a test. Thank you. I was able to recognize that it was a test. And a lot of the times that's all it is. You're gonna keep getting the same test until you decide to do something differently. In order to change, you gotta to get different results, you gotta do things different. In order to get different results, you gotta do things differently. And you don't know what that may look like, 'cause change is scary. You know what I mean? Don't nobody wanna do something and then they don't know what it's gonna look like, how it's gonna go, and you just don't know. But it's gonna all be for the good, all be for your good. It's always gonna be for your good. And so now that I sit back and I reflect over a lot of the things that I've gone through, you know, people I've met, businesses that I've had, business relationships that came and went, friendships, relationships that came and went. It's all for your better good. All of it's for the good. And I had to, learn to become that way. My life coach taught me that years ago, but it's like all things work for good for the greater good for those who believe in the Lord. So I definitely know I believe in him, right? So I'm like, all of this has to have a reason. Sometimes we just outgrow things, and a lot of things are just a lesson. I will say early on, I wasn't able to spot opportunists. I was I did some work with a bunch of opportunists. Child ain't recognize them from here to there. Um, People who just were users or wanted to reach out to me, um, just I don't even like to say this word, but that were really like fans. I don't even like that word, but whatever it is, that's a story for another day. And things like that, it is like not able to wasn't able to recognize a lot of things. Um, and it's like, damn. And then I will be left. But I will say, and this is why you can't even get mad. Like, remember when people was taking my stuff and all that? They used to send me in a tizzy. But I will honestly say that everything works for the good because it made me wiser. God turned up my discernment. I can spot an opportunist a mile away. I can spot a creeper a mile away, and it's just everything just became better. And I can honestly say that out of everyone that I've encountered, however they have contributed to my experience, right? N None of them are doing better than me. None of them. And some of them are still doing the same stuff. Ain't got a growing bone in their mouth. You know what I mean? So, and I wasn't sitting around and waiting for that because, sometimes if you're lucky enough and when people do you wrong, God will allow you to have a front row seat to their karma. But the key is to get to the point where as though you don't even care to witness them get their karma or not. But that's the one thing I can say that, um, you know what? They not doing better than me. Not nothing about them, not their businesses, not anything, not even them within their personal selves and or anything like that. And I always wish people well, but they're not. And that's something that, um my coach used to say to me, like, "You can't focus and worry about what's gonna happen with somebody else," and was like and she's always like, "You'll be able to know, you gotta measure people by the fruit that they bear." The whole apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. Like, you'll be able to know if someone is growing and changing and if they're better because their life is going to show you that. And sometimes I was like, "Oh, I don't understand it. I don't know what you mean, blah, blah." And then I ended up understanding. You know what I mean? I ended up understanding that, and it's a beautiful thing. So now, like I was telling you guys, I'm back on the about to do my evaluation, list of my friends and just people that are in my life and just see where the friendships go, see how they measure up as far as is this is this a relationship that needs to continue? Not even let's not even say relationship. Is this a connection that needs to continue? And I've just been asking God about all of it, and I'm gonna let him do what he did. I don't know who's gonna go, I don't know who's gonna stay. I would love for everybody to stay. But that ain't the way God work. Hey, May! And honestly too, there was a time, like, early on where I had stopped, I had stopped asking him. 'Cause we we all said this, "God, show me who needs to be around me and who don't." It was a time that I had stopped because, y'all, he was removing people that I had never thought in a million years would have been removed, okay? I was like, "Oh, I wanted them to be here. Oh, I like them. What the world?" Like, you know what I mean? And I was like, I ain't doing this." So it's so funny because even sometimes, um, with my daughter and, like, her friends and stuff, she'll call me sometimes and be like, it's funny 'cause she do the same things I used to do to my cousin. She's like, "Oh, you must have prayed my friends away because we got into it and da 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 da, and I don't even talk to this person anymore, whatever, whatever." We laugh, and I tell her, I said, "Girl," I said, I pray your friends will." I'm like, uh, for real. I said, "I pray for people to be removed out your life every day that ain't meant to be in it. I'm sorry. I can't." You know? And a lot of times it's because we can see things sometimes that other people can't see. So any prayer that I pray for myself, I'm gonna pray for my kid. Hello? You know? So I do that, and I laugh because I be watching it. Although it is this one little thing that is like a thorn in my side, okay? And I'm not trying to let them to be a thorn in my side. And every time God wishes them away, she go right back and pick them up. And I be, "Girl." But I laugh because it reminds me of what my cousin used to tell me, like, "Every time I pray somebody away, you go back and you pick them up. Every time I do that, you da da da." So it's just so funny. She just will not let this one friend go, child. I mean, every time I be like, "Listen." And then I had my moments where I'm just like, "You know what? You just gotta learn the lesson. Whatever you need to learn, you're gonna learn it. I'm minding my business." But now y'all, so I just was coming on here just to talk to you, 'cause growing is a thing, and it can be a rocky road if you let it. And, yeah, so that's just where I am. Imma try something different too. I'm gonna write it down. Imma try it. I can't tell y'all just yet, but Imma try it different. I gotta see of all of this stuff that I'm doing. Um, yeah, stay encouraged, y'all. Stay encouraged. Don't, don't get discouraged. It definitely looks crazy sometimes, but, you find a way to get through hell in the hallway. So that's what I'm working on too, as far as refining my fire with certain. It's funny. I found my fire with one thing, and I'm like, "Ooh, I love it." And I can't find my fire with other things, and I'm like, it's still there, but, like the light is glistening. The light is glistening, and I'm not liking it, but I know I just gotta pick it up and do all of that. Um, just say, "Amen. Hey, how are you?" Oh, so the light is my light is definitely glistening in those other areas, and I'm just like, "Oh my goodness, this is just I just don't know." So I just have to get continue to stay focused, continue to stay focused and pump up the value, pump up the value. Don't quit, you gotta give up. I mean, what I say earlier, some I woke up on top of the world, and some days the world might be on top of me, okay? We're only human. Give yourself grace, be patient, love on you, start pouring all the love that you need or that you're looking for from other areas. Pour that into you and just watch how magnificent and how great things become. You got to. You gotta you gotta pour into you. Stop pouring into everybody else, because then when you do that, right, and this is a part of the other part of the exercise that I'm doing, is like when you are on E, who fills you up? Now I learned a long time ago that it can't be people for me. I know how like when my cup is on E, I also because some of us can refill our own cup. So when my cup like, I know what to do to fill me back up, and that's what I'm doing now, just keep filling me up and pouring me up. She said, "Hallelujah." Yes, I'm filling me up right now. I know what to do. I know what to do. I know what I gotta do. Gotta focus in, talk to God, pray, fast, do all of that stuff. Because when you take a look around and nobody else is there to fill your cup, it's like, well, damn, who's there for me? So if you take a look around and there's nobody else there for you, you have to show up for you. So that's what I'm doing. Showing up for me. You gotta show up for you. And I'm choosing to show up 100% for me every day. And do a self-check and say, "Did I give 100%?" Like, did you guys give yourself 100% today? Be honest. Because you know what? With clarity comes honesty. Did you give yourself 100% today? And for me, I gave myself 110% today. I know I did, and I'm super excited. I've gotten things prepared for the rest of the week, and the week is almost over, but that'll either lead me to through to the weekend, become more disciplined, okay? What else? I was focused all day. I was able to stay focused all day. I usually nod off at least 25 times a day. I ain't gnawed off at all today, and I had energy. So again, that's the other part of letting go, what we were talking about earlier. Letting go gives you energy. You will be filled with so much energy once you release all that worry, all the fear, whatever it is that is burdening you. Once you let it go, it's like, "Oh, is that all I had to do this entire time?" So we gotta show up for us. Show up for you a little more. Love on you, pour that love into you. Look in the mirror and say, "I love you, I love you, I love you," 3 to 4, 5 times, child. Just do all of that. Find out what you like. Who are you outside of your relationship? Who are you outside of your friendship? Who are you outside of your job? Like, a lot of people don't know who they are. Figure out what you like, what you don't like. Write down your goals. Try something different. Think positive for a week. If you can't do it a week, try to think positive 10 minutes. Don't be negative. Don't live in fear. It's so many people that live in fear. if you say you wanna do something, they'll say, "Oh, no, you can't because that's not this," or people gonna do it's like, "Uh-uh, let people live," and I feel like we do that a lot to kids too. When they say wanna do something, "Oh, no, you're gonna fall. Oh, no, you're gonna hurt yourself." Well, how you know what they're gonna do if you ain't even let them do it? You gotta try. Yes, guide them and be wise, but we gotta try. You gotta let them try. So, that's it, you know? And then too, um even with what we talked about the sex part, with sex being fun, you go around from person to person. But a lot of the times when you look at the different things that you do and that we deal with and that we go through, like I said, this is about loving you. You really see what it is. You really get to see what loving you is about, what goes on with loving you. Stop letting that man mess around. Stop being the second fiddle. Stop being the side chick. Go for first place. Get somebody else. Get somebody else to do it. You know what I mean? He's showing you who he is. Why are you so attracted to it? Work on you and find out what it is. Do you not think you can find somebody else? Do you not think that there's not anybody out there for you? You know what I mean? You don't wanna go to your job every day. Are you looking for a new one, or are you just waking up every day complaining and going in and being grumpy to everybody that's at work because you don't like, you gotta help yourself. You know what I mean? You wanna save money. Well, are you doing things to save? Are you spending money necessarily? What is it that you could cut back on? Do y'all know how many apps sorry, subscriptions I've canceled over the last 2 months? I was like, "This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous." You know what I mean? Like, come on. I say treat things just like your clothes. If you find it and you haven't seen it in a year or 2 or 5 and then you find it, don't keep it, let it go. We have to start making room for the new things to come in. You want more, you asking for more, but are you making room for what you're asking for? Or are we just gonna keep piling stuff on top? Just keep piling it and piling it and piling it. Are you making room for what you're asking for? That's a good question. And that's something that I've began doing. And just that one moment cleared up so much. So don't be fooled by the progress. Even a little small movement is still movement, no matter what it is. If you didn't spend money today, if you didn't eat out today, if you didn't answer that phone call today, if you chose not to go back and forth with your family and friends today, whatever it is that you may have done, whatever it is that you may have chosen, you know, pat yourself on the back and be excited. Thank God for the one customer. Thank God for the returning customer, and be grateful. Have an attitude of gratitude. Practice an attitude of gratitude. So I just came here just to let you guys know what was going on and on my brain throughout the day. I hope you guys have a great and successful week. If you're able to make it to the cookout, I hope you guys come. It starts at what, 10 o'clock, I think? Yeah, 10 o'clock. Hope you guys come on Saturday, have fun, enjoy the festivities. Just enjoy yourself, okay? Enjoy everything. Be great. I'm ready to take this week off, child, and call it a day. So I will see you guys next week. Be great.